Audio, test, test. How's the audio, guys? All right, let's get started.
T-minus 10, 9, 8. We have a go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning. No, that's not a 2.36 inch rocket. I don't have any of those, actually. I found some, but definitely don't have any. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, Guam. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday your time. It's already Saturday for me. So got a lot of updates from the week, a lot of things to talk about. I was planning on attempting to add another TinyGS station to my dashboard, so we'll see if we have time for that. Just play around, have fun, talk with you guys, see what's new and exciting in the space and amateur radio world, and we'll kick it off. So let's see, where do I want to start? Let me go to my... So, Robert had a great video he put out. Well, several videos he put out. One was his AMSAT update video, which he had put over at Hamcation. He had done he recorded the AMSAT discussion, and so that was a great video. So if you guys want to stay up to date with all the AMSAT news and things like that, please check out his video. Another video that he had put out recently was an update to the ISS detector video, or the ISS detector app, which was pretty cool. And so there's updates coming down for that app. And he so essentially the developers had released a beta version of the app. A lot of changes, a lot of updates. It's fantastic. It looks great. However, for us iOS users, we don't get the update yet. So I reached out to the developer directly, and according to him, and he's the main developer, I reached out to him on Discord. According to him, he said iOS will probably be next month. On Android, I have more options for beta testing and gradual rollout and faster releases, 1 hour instead of 1 day. That means he can iron out all the problems much quicker. iOS just has to wait a little bit longer, but you'll get a more refined version of the app, and that's according to Runa R, who is the developer for the ISS Detector app. Uh, you know, it's great in this community to be able to reach out and touch some of the developers and talk to them, provide input. Um, you know, he had noticed. He personally had noticed Robert's video that he had put out, and kind of applauded him for that, which I thought was really cool, to get noticed by the developers, really in touch with the community. So that was really cool. It featured Robert's video on his Discord as well as his Facebook. So I thought that was really neat. Robert's doing great things for the community as well. He was kind of a lot of the inspiration of me getting into satellite work and YouTube, to be honest. So that, it's great stuff to hear. So by all means, I put the two links for the app, or for Robert's videos inside the chat. So the first one here is for the the AMSAT discussion at Hamcation, and then this one here is Robert's ISS Detector app video update. So what else? All right, let's go here. Where am I at? No, not that one. This one. Let me share this again. Let's go here. Oh, I don't do Parks on the Air, Chris. It's too hot and it rains. They say it's always raining somewhere on Guam, which is very true. I've done it a few times. It just doesn't interest me. Specifically, you're always uncovering and recovering your equipment, and I'm not one to go out and do a POTA and sit in the truck. So, but I will do some other stuff in regards to satellite. So that's my Google Drive. Let's go over here and over here. Let me know if I lose audio here. So here's my Google Drive FM satellite table that I'm continually working on. Again, to reiterate, this isn't getting down in the weeds of satellites. This is a take this information, apply these channels into your radio, which is why I have a channel number box, so you can write it down on here. Input the TX on one channel, and then input all these downlinks, and AOS acquisition signal, quarter through the pass, mid pass, 3/4. So if you input these channels into your radio, of course it has to be full duplex. If you input these into your radio, you should essentially have success. Make sure you're inputting it correct. So with the TX uplink on this one for the ISS, make sure you have the CTSS tone for the uplink. Leave one side of your radio on the uplink, the one you're transmitting on, and then of course you're gonna be flipping through these RX downlinks. It just makes it a lot easier for people who are new to working satellites, kind of a dummy-proof way of getting in there and working the birds. If you guys weren't aware, the QMR Kuwait 2 is a new satellite. They've been doing a lot of SSTV lately, and that's for Kuwait's anniversary, I believe. I'm not too sure. I didn't save a post for it, but so essentially it's a new bird. They're doing a lot of stuff with it recently. uh, you know, so keep an eye out for QMR Kuwait 2. They're doing a lot of stuff. It does have an FM repeater. It does have SSTV, and it does have APRS on board, and they offer certificates as well. In fact, now that I think about it, I have to add it to so I also have the SSTV, the active SSTV satellites on a different tab, and it gives you the thing about the SSTV is they're not always running SSTV. They're, they do have schedules. Now, the way I find out schedules for SSTV transmissions or things like that is I go on X. X is essentially the go-to for satellite work. That's where you're going to find everybody posting about, when things are active. UMCA 1, they plan on being active April 23rd to 26th. I know that the ISS has an activity planned for March. I have to double check the dates, but you get the idea. And then, of course, the upcoming satellites. Chinese space station, as always, it's always pending. They have the equipment up there. They haven't installed it, or they haven't activated it. But there's going to be two different radios active, and whether or not they're going to be doing one on packet and one on voice, vice versa, is still up in the air. We don't really get a lot of information on the Chinese space station just yet. Of course, the CAS 7C, obviously there was an Alpha and Bravo before that. There was issues with those. So now they're down to the 7 Charlie. It's up in the air. They haven't floated it yet. The new Hades satellite coming up, launch planned for March 26 or 2026, and then the Hades E2. This launch is planned for June of this year, and then a new one that I ran into this morning actually was NutSat. Yes, NutSat. Don't get it confused. So this is planned for a launch of March 1st. Not a launch of the satellite itself, but let's see here. Let's get out of there. But so they're hitching a ride on a Japan launch on March 1st. It's a Taiwanese satellite. It will have a VU crossband repeater, telemetry, obviously. This is a 3U, so it's fairly larger than the Hades satellites, and so this is exciting. It's exciting to know that with the other Hades satellite burning up. As a matter of fact, so if we go back here, where is it? So AO124 re-entered at the beginning of February. AO123. Big news for this one is it's at its end of life. So in the next month or so, they plan on decommissioning and deorbiting. Oh, I'm sorry, not AO123. SO125. SO124 burned up February 3rd. SO125 is at its end of life. So what they've done is they've activated the voice repeater 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until end of life. So get your QSOs on SO125 while you can, and then But the good news is they're coming out with another Hades, 2 new Hades satellites. So the Hades SA and the Hades E2. They've both already been programmed with their frequencies, and once those become active, I'll move them over to the active FM repeaters page. So I don't know if I pinned this. Can I pin this? Yeah. So I'm going to pin my Google Drive to the top of the chat. By all means, if you guys have any additions or changes, comments, I believe you can send me comments through the Google Drive page. If you're really feeling froggy and you want to request access to make changes, just shoot the request, and we can do that. I again, with that spreadsheet, I gleaned a lot of the information from previous more in depth spreadsheets. However, any additions and things like that you see, it's a community driven spreadsheet. It takes the community to stay up on top of these things. It was actually pretty cool. One of the guys at AMSET, I believe it's not the president. Anyhow, had reached out and asked if he could put a link to that spreadsheet on the AMSET website. So it's under satellite resources. So if you can't find the link, it's there as well. What else? Let me look at my thing here. So a lot of updates. NutSat, we covered that. Matter of fact, let's see here. So again, satellite is not yet in orbit. So this is from the National Formosa University, who is in collaboration with Taiwan Space Agency. The life of this satellite is estimated to be 1 year. Yeah, so VU repeater, the GNSS receiver, it'll give position for APRS. So pretty cool and exciting, especially because it's scheduled to launch on March 1st. So that's exciting. It's exciting for people who work the satellites and are involved in that community. Let's see here. Another update I have. A lot going on here. I need 3 monitors. So on a previous stream, I discussed this thing called the Discovery Dish. The Discovery Dish is created by. Hey, good morning. So the Discovery Dish is created by Kraken RF. So it's a 3-piece lightweight satellite dish. You can buy different feeds for it. L-band, S-band, and a bunch of other different feeds for it. So what they're starting to do now, they're starting the Discovery Drive. They're going to be launching that campaign soon. So here, let me show you the Discovery Dish. So this is a Discovery Dish. So you get the dish, and then they sell the feed separately. You get the hydrogen line. You've got, let's see. And of course, when you order this dish, it takes a while to get. I placed my order, and I don't think it's going to ship until April. It's kind of they wait until they get a large amount of orders, and then they'll go into production and ship them out. So you can have, the L-band for weather satellites, and GOES, Inmarsat. So Inmarsat, the hydrogen line feed. So that's good for signals between the around the 1.5 gigahertz band. And again, swapping the feeds is super easy. It's lightweight. It packs up small. Again, 3 pieces, and then you kind of pair it with an RTL SDR, and collect the signals. And once you get that, you go over to SatDump, and SatDump will do the translation and give you various images and information. It's actually really cool. And so I think they have a C-band as well. Yeah, so you have the hydrogen line feed, the Inmarsat, the L-band. And I thought they had a third. So again, the L-band for GOES information, NOAA's, the Meteor M2, the Inmarsat feed, so you can decode the STDC and aero signals, and then the hydrogen line feed is for radio astronomy, which is super cool. The 2.4 gigahertz band. They also have this optional outdoor enclosure, so you can stick your Raspberry Pi or RTL SDR inside there, keep it weatherproof. So it's funny because every piece to this puzzle, and it's actually a really nice enclosure. Every piece of this puzzle kind of averages about $120 per item. If you're interested in what this thing can do, I recommend going to see Gabe on Save It for Parts. He does a lot of great stuff with radio astronomy and the GOES satellites and things like that, and he makes a whole bunch of stuff out of nothing, which is why it's called Save It for Parts. But he goes through each feed, the dish itself, and it's really cool. I really like what Kraken SDR is doing. So again, if you're interested in any of this type of stuff, there's the Discovery Drive in testing, doing all sorts of fun stuff. But yeah, it's something I'm really interested in. I don't know how much. I mean, it is related to amateur radio somewhat, just a different kind of side, just different side of the hobby, and you kind of get fed into this type of stuff through starting to work satellites, doing the VHF, UHF kind of thing, using the repeaters, and then you get into the sideband side of things, which I haven't because my 9700 is not here yet. And then you can just kind of, as you know, with everything in this hobby, you get into digital modes, and then you start branching off, and FT8, FT4, then you're looking at JS8 call. It just kind of branches out from there, depending on what portion of the hobby. So it's fun. It's it is a hobby, and whatever portion of the hobby you get into, you kind of really invest yourself into, and just keep on a million hobbies within a hobby. That's what they say. So let's see. Again, folks, I apologize. It's really difficult to use 2 monitors. So I'm trying to wrangle things down. Okay. So what else? So big news came out about 8 hours ago. Bouvet Island, the team for Bouvet Island, 8 hours ago arrived. According to them, the weather and seas are not favorable for them to start going ashore. So they're just off the coast of Bouvet. They've stayed in an area they've got waves of 8 to 10 meters, which for you seafaring folks is pretty large. Yeah, so Dave, so according to their message, the vessel is handling the sea very well. They're very satisfied with that. They're currently looking into a weather window for Saturday and Sunday, as long as the conditions don't change, is likely that they'll make an effort to go ashore this weekend. The pilots and crew are ready and confident in the helicopter, and they'll start their final preparations for landing. At this stage, they cannot tell when they will be on the air. The main priority is focusing on the upcoming weather windows, getting the gear and people onto the island, securing the camp, tents, and provisions before radio and antenna installation starts. So, based off of this, they're saying that the pilot, who is also a ham, KB2 FMH, will inform when they are ready to go QRV. So pretty exciting stuff there. I know everybody's looking forward to that. It's going to be an ATNO for a lot of people. So stay tuned to that. I mean, there's a lot of information. They're very good about continually pumping out information about their status, where they're at, and kind of giving the community solid updates. So that's exciting. Very, very exciting. Let's see here. What else do I got for you guys? Alright, I suppose we can get right into it. Unless I have anything else going on. Sorry, it's just loading up TinyGS here. So for those of you who don't know what TinyGS is, it's a tiny ground station. It started with Cornell University. Essentially what it does is it takes an ESP32 LoRa device, flashes rather than flashing Meshtastic. You would flash this thing called TinyGS. Let me go to the home page here. GS. Oh, let's go here. Okay, let's go over here. There we go. So TinyGS. It's a non-profit. They were established in 2024. Essentially what it is that you create these tiny ground stations, and I don't know how to, there we go. We don't need the sonar. It's DEEF. Oh, yeah. We'll get you there, Bill. So far they've got 2,200 active stations, almost 2,300. So essentially you're building this little station that can capture telemetry data and packets from the various satellites, and feed it into this system, and it's really cool. Let's see. Yeah, so it's about learning about satellites and radio, and capturing that information, feeding it to the general community. It gives you information. Let's go to here. Active satellites. It will give you all the active satellites on here. Hey, good morning, Frank. It'll give you all a short summary of the satellite, and then of course you can click it. So Cornell was the folks that started this. Then you've got so all these satellites that are able to feed your tiny ground station, which is pretty cool. And it'll give you active satellites, FSK satellites. I thought these were cool, the Stratosats. It reminds me of a BDU, which is a bomblet dispensing unit. So it's a satellite stuffed with little baby satellites, so it's pretty cool. And of course you've got all the Starlink satellites, FSK satellites. This is one of the great things here is future satellites. So it gives you kind of some insight into what's coming up, who's made it, where it's from, and you get to look at all these different things of, you're looking at not just the 1U, 2U, 3U size satellites, but pocket cubes, nano satellites. So it gives you an insight on various different designs, what people are trying out, and it's very interesting stuff. I haven't tinkered around, and Bill, I don't know if you've looked into this yet at all, about doing a balloon with the Tiny GS on. I don't know how that would work. So it's something I'm definitely interested in. Balloons were actually the reason why I stood up the APRS network on Guam. So the schools here had well, they still do, a STEM program where they have, I guess what they're called here. Hang on. Stand by. So the schools here had a STEM program come out and essentially got with the teachers and started this kind of balloon telemetry thing here. Let me see. So they gave the schools these packages. It's a Stratogear transmitter. So essentially what it comes with, it came with a balloon, helium, what do you call? It came with this transmitter here, which you attach to the balloon. I don't know how I can get this light to work. There we go. Anyhow, it's run on a AA. It came with the whole package. It came with the balloon, the helium, the tracker. It came with a Baofeng radio, I believe. They come pre-programmed with an actual ham radio call sign. It does transmit APRS, and in that APRS packet, it gives speed, altitude, temperature, battery life. I wonder if I have it here. Stuff. Balloon. So, and I don't know how I sidetracked into this. Balloon tracks. So, I've been pulling the data from each school's balloon launch, and these are all the balloons that they've launched. I kind of take it into Google Earth. The cool thing about Google Earth is you can pull the APRS data, package it together, and come up with different maps. So these are each of the balloon launches that they've done. Various altitude. You get an idea of different weather conditions, and what kind of changes with each launch. And it's a cool program for the kids. Let's see here. So this is the reason why I set up the APRS system on Guam, is for this project specifically. And really, APRS was fine before, but then, these kids needed a way to track these, and there was no Digipeater or iGates on island, so it was kind of an easy thing to do. Let's see. Let me see this one. screen share. So you've got, here's the kids filling up the balloons. And then they launch it up, start tracking it with the Baofeng. As soon as it hits, I don't know, maybe 100 feet up in the air, my stations start picking it up, the telemetry. And there, see, you have an elevation profile. You've got the track. It's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so sidebar done there. So I'm curious how we could. I'll have to do some more research on there. I'm curious how you would attach the ESP32 and what it would do and what it can change for using the Tiny GS for the balloons. I'll do some research, Bill, and I'll get back to you, and we can figure it out. So anyhow, let's go here. All right, so this is my console. I started it 3 months ago. Status is online. It's listening currently. So this is what I'm running right now. Just the small high HYS antenna. My only complaint about this antenna, it's an omnidirectional antenna. My problem with it is it comes with a TNC connector instead of one of the more common things. There we go. There's the link for the HYS antenna. So, and another part to this is I don't have it raised all the way up because I only have so much of that. I don't have a TNC adapter, so I only used with what I had. Again, the problem is I have a 2-story house right here. So if you look at my listening profile, I'm missing a large amount of packets on the north side due to that. It is an odd one, Frank. But due to that 2-story house, I need to get it higher. And I could put the box outside, but I like to have it in the shack because it's nice looking. So yeah. So there it is in the waterproof box. Ran off USB-C. And then of course we've got the LNA. You're talking about this here, Bill? One thing to note, Bill, is have you tried flashing the newest version? So you go over here. I'm trying to remember. Do I have it here? TinyGS. So if you go over to here, Bill, and you can look, this is the most recent version, 25.0.9061. And maybe that might help, or depending on what antenna you've got. Let's see where you're at. Stations. No. What's your station, Bill? No. It's not under Bill. K0 Whiskey Hotel Whiskey. that once you drop the link, Bill. HRT. You've got 2 up currently? Right. Uh-huh. Okay, so just under 140. So my thought here would be, number one, your... Okay, so is this one's without the LNA, possibly? Let's go to... Did I click this? Okay, so this one I'm assuming has the LNA. Oh, did I click the same one? That's... Okay. So I'd be curious to see what antenna you're running, Bill, and your position of where you have it located. Gotcha. Diamond discount. Okay. So the zeros. Okay. So you're not picking up anything from this at all. Is it active? Online. Confirmed packets created a month ago. Interesting. You know, it's funny. I was actually just ordering that diamond disc cone, the D3000, I think it was. You got a rusty nail for an antenna. But first thing I would do, Bill, is try to flash the newest version. I know that they've added a few new things to there. One being the automatic update button. Oh, they both are. Interesting. Yeah, I would get on here. So after looking on the wiki, here we can go to it now. Actually, let's go here. No. Let's go here. You know, it's funny. I essentially emulated what Robert had done. I mean, down to the only difference between mine and Robert's is I did not, and I know he had his in a window, but I know he has a very short run from his antenna to the box, whereas I have, I don't know, I think it's 13 feet of coax, and then I leave the box inside. Yeah, for sure. LNAs do make a difference. Let's see here. Auto update. So I'm curious. Yeah, so in the newest version, this is what I'm trying to do. So in both of ours should still read just enable TX, ham license, no preamp. Even though I have the LNA, I still click this. But none of these boxes are in my dashboard. So if we go here, I forget how to get to my dashboard. Right here. So configure parameters. So yeah, in this version, 22.6. So Bill, you have all those other. Where did it go? So you have all these other checkboxes in Euro, where you have sending telemetry to third party, test mode, auto firmware, update. I have the update option, but I think it is working. So I'm curious if you have, where'd it go? Yeah, so firmware update. I don't know if now, and I haven't since the inception of my station. I haven't done anything with it other than let it run. I did try that filter at one point, but my packets dropped severely, and ever since then I kind of stick around between 5 and 700. And what I've noticed too is if I unplug it and plug it back in, it will jump my packets. So every spike you see here is me. That was me unplugging and plugging it back in, basically restarting it. And again, I don't have the auto update, so I don't want to flash it and have all my information gone. But apparently, I don't think that will be the case. So let's see here. Yeah, so with the third iteration of this, it'll give you all those. So I tried the install, download the latest release, saved it, but you got to get into this platform IO. What I had tried to do is go down here, do the firmware update, upload the file, and do it over the air, but it obviously didn't work. So I'm gonna have to actually physically plug it in, and you don't have the update option. Interesting. Did you check both? So here's a question, Bill. When you added another station, yeah, Chris, we can talk about that here in a minute. So Bill, when you added another station, did you just input? Oh, where'd you go? Did you just take your MQTT username and password and just add it? So like here, if I go to my dashboard, I want to add another station. Click new station, do all this, flash it, obviously, and then you just it should sync with the MQTT information, and then it's good to go. That's the plan. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm working with here. What's up, doggy? So, I've got SatNogs here. So this is ready to go. And then if I stop tangling myself. Alright, so this one will be over here. So what you get is you get ESP32 Heltec version 3. Then it comes with the small antenna, a pigtail, and then so what I add here, and let me drop the link. Where's you? Okay. Copy. And we got here. So this is the LNA. And to get the 137 megahertz, you need the specific board, which is right here, the LilyGo, because it has the correct chip in it. Yeah, yep, that's correct. So this is the LNA. It's got a heat sink on the back. It comes with this pigtail here, and I put a 90 degree on it. So basically on the Heltec V3, and I don't know if we can get a good view of it. There you go. So you'll see on the last pins there, it's ground and 5 volt. So you want the black, you want to solder the black into the ground and then the red into the 5 volt for the pigtail for the LNA, and it will supply that 5 volts that it needs to power this. And you plug it in, and then I run it sort of kind of like this, like that, and then I zip tie it into the box. So the box, put that there. So this is the box that I got. It comes with these things here, and then this here, as you tighten it, it closes the gap. I don't know if you guys can see it in there. Anyhow, the trick to these is you want to get the one with the grid inside. And the cool thing is you can take this out, zip tie your parts into here, and then screw it back down. Run your wires through the bottom, and then this you actually have to drill out. So I just started with a small bit, and then I used a stepper bit to get to the right size, and just did it slowly so you make sure you don't crack. I mean, this is pretty hard plastic versus soft, so you just want to take it slow and get it to the exact size you need, and that way you ensure you're still waterproof. I got this one specifically because it has these. On the Satnox kit, it comes with that 2-inch PVC. So this one's going to be ran outside, and it'll be mounted to it. This one will actually be mounted outside. And then I've got, let's see if I have it. I think this is 30 feet of USB-C. So the only thing running into the shack for this one, as opposed to the other one, will be the USB-C. This will be a lot closer to the antenna, and hopefully we can get a little better packet reception on that one. But yeah, this is essentially it. I really like this LNA. It's worked really well for me. Robert's somehow getting a lot more better packet reception. I do have this LNA from AMSAT UK that I still have to build, but it's very small surface mount components. But it's a nice little kit. Comes with everything you need. It's got all those tiny little, those are individuals, pairs of 2, but very small. I don't know if I can, anyhow, there you go. Very small surface mount resistors, capacitors, things like that. I don't dare try to attempt to build that on stream and embarrass myself. Not that I care, but which one? Your LilyGo's arriving tomorrow, Bill? That should be fun. That's on mine's still. I mean, I've been waiting for mine for a month now. But to cover the 137 megahertz band, it would be handy. Oh, long coax. Yeah, I don't know if that's the issue, Bill. I'm curious if. Well, you've got maybe put a filter on it. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Frank. I'm curious if you put a filter on it because you're using such a wide banded antenna that it's kind of getting oversaturated. Um, so I'm curious if you put a 433. Oh, you did. I'm just out of ideas, Bill. You know, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, so when I put that filter on mine, let's see. When I put that filter on mine, and I will show you. So this is, I'm not currently running a filter. That may be the case, Bill. But this filter here, my packets dropped to below 100. And I ran it for about 2 days. And as soon as I pulled that filter off, my packets jumped back up. So I'm curious if that might be the issue. I stopped running the filter, and I've been averaging, like I said, between 400 and 700 packets a day. So you never know. It's just kind of one of those things. Plug in, unplug, try it out for a 24-hour period. See what you get. See what happens. See if it's better. There's so many different things you can hook up into these things. The long coax may be the problem because it's such a low-powered system. Low passes are a no-go. I would say if you're able to, definitely shorten the coax, but remove the filter and try to get that box mounted as close as you can to the antenna. Yeah. You can't see the horizon. Okay. The first thing I would do is take off the filter and run it without it. Yeah. Yep. See how that goes, and you never know. Again, like I said, I flip the filter both ways. That's another thing too, is you can flip the filter. Yeah, that could be the case, but it's these little tiny GS, the ESP32s are so sensitive. I'm picking stuff off. Even though I don't have a clear view of horizon to my southeast, I'm still picking it up very, very low, low degree passes. They're just so sensitive, and I think that's part of the case, because I've got what I like to call mountains, but they're not mountains. They're big hills. Elevations, I don't know, 1,000 feet, maybe 900 feet. But that's the problem with working satellites from my house, which is why I go up to my roof to try to get my angle a little better. Doesn't really help, but I'm only getting, if the pass comes from that side, I can only get it at maybe from about mid pass, so 20 degrees mid pass, I can get it just over those hills. But even still, so again, looking at this based off of my position, and even low degree passes. Let's see here. I have hills, but I'm picking satellites way out here. You know what I mean? So, this is definitely a block, the 2-story house right in front of my antenna. But horizon's not that great on this side, and then trees and stuff over here. But I just think it's more sensitive than a normal reception. It might be the discone too. I think that's part of the problem, Bill. It is too wide banded. Yeah, let's see. I mean, those go from 25 megahertz to 1200, 1.2 gigahertz. Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. You are only picking what's right above, because I mean, even right here, there's a clear delineation that something's blocking you there. So you're not. I mean, it's like a wall. That's interesting. So what I would say, well, not only that, but see if you can get a little higher and try to expand the areas that you are able to get. Good morning, Nicole. Good morning. That's really the only thing you can do, Bill, is expand on the areas that you are able to get. And it just looks like to the west and more to the south, and see what goes. And again, you could always, let's see here. Let me go to this. Where did I put that? No, I don't want that. Orders. Okay. So even with this bill, HYS, I mean, it's fairly cheap. But again, my issue with this antenna is it's that TNC, which doesn't make any sense to me. It does come with the 9.8 feet of RG58. It's worth a shot. It's worth a shot. And it's cheap enough to play around with, and even if it doesn't work for your use, I mean, it's a 433 megahertz antenna, and I'm sure you could find a use for it, right? What else? What else? How's everybody else doing out there? Thank you, Frank. I wish people owed me money. What else? So clearly, live stream took a complete left turn. I was planning on flashing the new guy for the Tiny GS, but kind of got wrapped up in the conversation. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I think that's really, really cool. South is clear. I think honestly, Bill, I think it's a combination of coax length, antenna, filter. So start with the easy things that you can adjust quickly. Start with the filter, shorten the coax, and then if you do get a chance, change the antenna. If you have, I'm almost tempted to say, try to put a signal stick on top of it, and so take it off the disc cone and put just an HT antenna on it, and see what happens. And I mean, they're kind of omnidirectional. Chip chop. kind of omnidirectional. Yeah, try an HD antenna. Kind of. I mean, if you have it in a box, just drill a hole in the top, mount a BNC in there or whatever, and throw a. Hey. Morning, Mike. Morning. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, brother. Yeah, throw a. Yeah, if you have a signal stick, I would say, or what did I try before? The ZBM2 Industries HT antenna, 2 meter, 70 centimeter. Just kind of give it a plop, just like that. See what goes. You never know. It just lost a screw. Anyhow, that would be the first thing I would try, is taking out the filter, for ease of use and expediting the process. Throw an HT antenna on there, and then kind of work your way through that way. Take care of the small stuff first that you can, and then just kind of process of elimination. Oh, what else? Oh, yeah, Mike's a new SAT guy, right, Mike? Did you end up getting the 2730? Gotta get you on the birds, man. You look pumped. That was such a fun video. I was super pumped for you to get that satellite contact. Another thing too, Mike, is what I use is the FTM 150. It works just as good. The cool thing about those radios is, even if you don't end up using them if you decide satellites don't really interest you, you can always use it as a mobile. And the 310, another benefit to the 310 is you can use it for SATs, but it also has Fusion and APRS. So again, if you don't end up liking the radio, you just throw it in as a mobile, and it's a great mobile. Morning, Roger. Morning. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, again, guys, I didn't really. This stream kind of took a left turn, and I was planning on doing some more TinyGS stuff, but there's a lot of information to put out this week, which is really exciting. Especially the NutSat. It's extremely hard to say that satellite. NutSat 3. Is it 3? Yeah. Let's see. NutSat 3 from Taiwan. So really exciting stuff, especially when it comes to new bird launches, any type of space launches. I'm curious, anybody in the chat remember when they said the new launch date is for the Artemis? Did they push it back to April? I think that's the last thing I saw. Very nice, Mike. The Linko DJ7 and the IC32AT. I don't think I've heard of the IC32AT. I know that, what was that one that I said last week? Gotcha, thanks, Frankie. I think the BTEC D something or other. The BTEC came out with a new full duplex radio that actually has SAT mode on it. Oh, okay, thanks, Mike. Yeah, so the new BTEC radio is full duplex. BTEC D. Yeah, the DA7X2, and I'll go really quick into this because I gotta hop off here because Frankie's stream's gonna be starting. The price point is very tough for a BTEC radio. I get it. 7 watts max. It's got AM, AM, FM, crossband repeat, full duplex. It's got audio recording. One of the cool things I looked at and what piqued my interest is roaming and satellite tools, list based and GPS assisted, plus satellite pass prediction, satellite list management, and tracking support via CPS for amateur satellite operation. So that's, for somebody that's working satellites, wants a very mobile, compact radio for that specific use. I think I will probably get one, and then I'll do a review on here. And we'll see what goes. It's something I'm very passionate about. So even if it does suck, I can still use it. But anyway, folks, let me wrap up here, and so you guys can all get directed over to Frankie's stream. He'll be expecting you guys. Just a big shout out to Frank, by the way, guys. Frank didn't know me from a hole in the wall, and I reached out to him one day, and he's on the back end of things. He's the guy that got me up and running with YouTube. So I did want to do a big shout out to Frank, KG6NLW. Huge support base right there. And he didn't owe me anything, didn't know me from a hole in the wall, and from the kindness of his heart, helped me out and got me up and running. So thank you, Frank. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, especially way out here. So make sure you guys hop over to his stream. He had posted the link in the chat, and Frank, yeah, you can post it again. I'm going to pin it to the top here. Replace pin message. Alright, so that's pinned to the top. So please go over to his stream and make sure you join my Discord. It's in my description of my YouTube. Join the Discord. Post pictures of your dog. Big fan of dogs, so make sure you guys do that. So I will say 73 to everybody. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your evening and start your weekend right. We'll say 73. Rockets and radios. See you guys later.